Well, hello and welcome to winter in Rocky Mountain National Park. If you want to experience the best of the park in the winter season, as the snow is beginning to pile up, then you definitely want to get a pair of snowshoes on your feet. Now, what are snowshoes? Well, they're not actually shoes, but rather devices that you attach to your boots to help you float above the snow. What most people don't realize is that during the winter, the snow up here can often be 2, 3, 4, or even 5 feet deep. If you try to walk through it without snowshoes, you're going to sink in deeply. Snowshoes will keep you on top of most of that snow. Now, the main time that you'll want to use snowshoes is after a large snowfall or if you plan to hike off the beaten path. If it hasn't snowed in a while, then the snow on the popular trails will have been trampled down to hard-packed snow and ice. In that case, if you're planning to stay on those main trails, then the better option is to wear microspikes. However, when the snow is soft and more than a couple inches deep, then it's time to wear snowshoes. Now, snowshoes come in a variety of sizes and shapes, but most places that rent them near Estes Park will have ones like this. They're made of hard plastic with sharp spikes at the bottom, making it easy to grip. Now, this type of snowshoe is very durable and it's very easy to use. Now, the weight of the user and the length of the snowshoe determine how deeply you're going to sink into that snow. The longer the snowshoe, the better your flotation above the snow. However, the longer the snowshoe, the heavier it can be, and the more awkward it can be to walk in. So most rental companies will have snowshoes like this one, which is a good balance for most people. However, if you think you might need a little more flotation, just ask for longer snowshoes wherever you're renting them. They should be able to help you. Now, there's several places in Estes Park where you can rent snowshoes and poles, such as the Estes Park Mountain Shop, Kirk's Fly Shop, and Outdoor World. Now, most of them offer snowshoes along with hiking pole rental for around $10 a day. Also, some of the local lodges around Estes Park have them available for their guests to use. I know that McGregor Mountain Lodge, Murphy's Resort, and the YMCA have them available. Now, other places do too, so when you book your accommodation, be sure to ask if they have complimentary snowshoe rental for you to use. Now, while you're outside in the cold and snow, you're going to want to be dressed in layers so that you can put on more clothing when you're cold, and as you warm up, you can remove some of those layers and put them in your backpack. You want to be especially sure that you have some warm, comfortable boots on your feet. Now, to put the snowshoes on, simply slip your foot in between the straps so that your toes are sticking through the front, but not so far that they catch on the front part of the snowshoe. Then pull the straps tight enough so that they hold your foot to the snowshoe, but not so tight that they're uncomfortable. Otherwise, you're going to get cold feet very fast. Now, the tricky part is doing the strap at the back that goes around your heel. If you can't get it, you can always ask for help from a friend. Once the snowshoes are actually on your feet, then it's as simple as walking. You may want to keep your feet a little wider apart, but that's really about it. Your poles will help you to maintain balance, and I find that it takes most people probably less than 5 minutes to begin to get comfortable with them. You can then walk almost anywhere that there is snow. Although you may sink in a little ways, you won't be sinking into your knees or waist like you would if you tried walking without snowshoes. They really do make a big difference. Well, now that you have your snowshoes, you're probably wondering where you should go and use them. Well, my suggestion is that you bring them up to the Bear Lake area. It has some of the best snow on the east side of the park, and there are a number of great snowshoe hikes that you can do up there. Now, your first option is to take a short walk around Bear Lake itself. It's just over half a mile, it's relatively flat, and it has some gorgeous views of the surrounding mountains. If you want something a bit more challenging, and if it isn't too windy, then consider heading up to Dream and Emerald Lakes. It's 1.1 miles up to Dream Lake, and Emerald Lake is just a little over another half mile. Now, if you go all the way to Emerald Lake and back, it's a 3.4 mile round trip hike. Now, up there, the views are simply stunning, some of the best you'll have in Rocky. And in the wintertime, on a calm day, there's nothing quite like it. It is stunning. So head on up there if the conditions are right and if you've got the energy. It's a little bit of a climb, but if you take your time, it really isn't too bad. Now, your third option, and I really recommend this on days when you can't see the peaks because it's really cloudy or snowy, or if the wind is blowing, then I suggest that you hike up towards Bierstadt Lake. It can be an absolute winter wonderland. In fact, that's where I'm filming this today. Now, if you go all the way to the lake itself, it's 2 miles each way, but you don't have to go all the way. Just go as far as you like, and you can enjoy these wonderful views in the deep forest. And it's just so peaceful and relaxing. Now, there are many, many other hikes you can do on snowshoes in Rocky Mountain National Park, but these 3 are a great place to start to kind of get your feet and to learn about snowshoeing in Rocky Mountain National Park. One thing I will mention is that anytime you're visiting in the winter, be careful around steep slopes because avalanches are a significant concern here in Colorado. If you stick to the main trails, you'll generally be all right, but just stay off of the really steep stuff unless you know what you're doing. Now, if you want to learn more about visiting in the winter, click on the recommended video that I've linked to at the very end of this video. It's called 5 Things Not to Do in the Winter. Also, on a very different note, I want to let you know that I've just launched a new YouTube channel on a very different topic. It's not about Rocky Mountain National Park at all, or even about my photography. Instead, this new channel is called Beneath the Surface, and it's about the interior life. It really follows my approach that I used in my book, Whispers in the Wilderness. If that sounds interesting to you, I'll put a link to it below in the show notes. Well, thank you everyone for watching. I sure appreciate it. If you like this content and find it helpful, please consider subscribing. It's a really big help to me. And if you've been out snowshoeing in Rocky Mountain National Park during the winter season, please share your experience below. I'm sure others would love to learn from you, and you can maybe give them some hints and tips. Well, thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next video. To help you prepare for your visit to Rocky Mountain National Park, visit my website, rockymountainnationalpark.com. For hiking guides, calendars, coffee table books, and more, visit rockytrailpress.com. And when you arrive, be sure and stop by my gallery in downtown Estes Park. It's called Images of RMNP.